In this video, I'm releasing a 30-minute call that I had with an Amazon seller who's just getting started. My student Corinne has been able to sell a few $1,000s a month, but she's really hoping to reach that $10,000 a month mark and then scale beyond that. And I figure if you clicked on this video, you're probably in the same boat and want to scale your business to $10,000 and beyond. And she asked a ton of questions that are going to help you out as well. The thing that I really like about this video is she asked a lot of questions that wouldn't typically make a good YouTube video, but it's really important for beginner Amazon sellers. I also wanted to give a big thank you to Corinne for agreeing to film this and put it on YouTube. I'm sure you guys are going to get a ton of value out of it. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, so I'm here with Corinne now. We're just going to kind of walk through a bunch of her questions. You guys are probably wondering a lot of the same questions. So if you just want to kind of briefly introduce yourself, Corinne, maybe let them know where you're at in your Amazon business right now. We'll just kind of roll into it, start providing some value.
Okay, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's kind of a fangirl moment because I remember watching these videos a long time ago. I started in December, kind of just hardcore going all in on your videos and, flips for miles. And now I'm sitting here and I'm actually a member of the community. So it's really nice. So thanks for having me. Yeah, like I just said, we kind of started in December. It's my boyfriend Lee and I that are doing it together. And we had started doing a Facebook group trying to do like Amazon influencer program. We started that way back and it just didn't go well. We were giving ourselves until December to try to, get through the holiday to try to get it off the ground. And it just never went anywhere really. I found some good sales for myself personally shopping, but nothing that really took off. And so then that kind of led me into somehow just, Google searching, internet, kind of went into like some private label stuff. And then I found you and I found Miles and those community, the Lightspeed community. And it just didn't seem like that was going to be the right first step. Like there's better, smaller steps until you get there. So that's kind of how we ended up doing FBA. So we made our first sale at the end of January. I feel like I got an associate's degree in FBA and Amazon and, all of that online arbitrage. Spent a little bit of time in stores, but realized it just wasn't going to be time effective for us. So we started doing online arbitrage. And so we started in January. I think our sales in January were like $33. And now for this month already, we're at over 2,300. So we've already surpassed February and March, and we're only a few days, a week or so into May. So it's going little by little, it's growing, and we're getting excited about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I figure that's where a lot of you guys watching are at, kind of getting the wheel rolling, making those first few sales. So we're just going to kind of jump into it here. Corinne had some questions, kind of things that might help you grow your Amazon business as well. So yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Well, you and I, during one of our intro calls, we had talked about setting a goal for May to get 10,000 in sales. And looking where we are right now, we're hoping, but we're thinking maybe we're not going to quite get there just yet. So I was wondering, at this point in May, I've lost the FBA window, right? Like there's no way I can order something, get it through fulfillment centers by the end of May, right? Would I try to look into something doing like some FBM, which we've never done?
Yeah. So we're recording this on the 10th. So typically I like to give, at least a 2-week buffer. I would say like anything you can send like today in the next couple of days might check in time to start selling in like the last week of May. But yeah, I think you said you'd be right around like 8K or so this month if you don't do anything kind of extra. So if you want to hit that 10K goal, you're probably going to want to do some merchant fulfillment. That's something that a lot of beginners are able to take massive advantage of because you get the product, you can sell it the exact same day you receive it, especially with all these, big BOLO products, that kind of stuff that sells super fast. You pretty easily add a couple $1,000 to your bottom line there. But yeah, so you've never done merchant fulfilled sales before?
No, we've never. I wouldn't even know going into Seller Central. If I'm sure you just have to toggle a switch somewhere, but we've never done it.
Yeah. So you could definitely take advantage of that. Let me actually show you kind of the type of product you might be looking for to do that.
Okay.
So let me just pull up an example product here. All right, so pulling up this example product here, this is the type of thing you're going to want to look out for. If you do want to go and pull the trigger on something to merchant fulfill, a lot of times the buy box is going to get hogged by FBA sellers. So not exactly sure on this one. Like if we pick a size, let's see, like size 11, the buy box is probably going to be going to, ships from Amazon. So it's going to be going to a FBA seller, but there is still probably going to be some potential to make some money doing FBM. And I'll go data and then buy box statistics on this one. And so like there's an FBA column right here. And so if you want to buy an item where you can, get it, ship it out the same day you kind of receive it, just make sure when you go to buy box statistics, this column right here that says FBA, you see how like this guy right here, he's got 8% one, not FBA. This guy's got 4% one, non-FBA. So it looks like the vast majority of sales on this this listing do go to FBA sellers, but it's not necessarily only to FBA sellers. So just look out for that on the buy box statistics on Keepa. That's going to be the type of product where the buy box will rotate to you versus those, some of those items is going to be 100% to FBA guys. So that's kind of what you're looking out for. As far as the actual shipping process goes, it'll be in your Seller Central. It'll be fairly straightforward when you're listing a product. Are you using like a listing software right now?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Cool. So when you go and you list it in Seller Central, instead of saying like, I'll ship this item to Amazon, you're just going to click like, I'll ship this item myself. And then when the item actually sells, there'll be a big tile that shows up on your Seller Central. Does like ship orders. You go in, it's really, really easy. Just plug in like the dimensions, the weight, all that kind of stuff. And then you want to make sure you buy your shipping through Amazon Seller Central, for the most part, because the shipping is going to be like insured by Amazon. So if it goes like missing or anything like that, like it's not on you in that part. Sometimes there's going to be like, especially if you're doing like really heavy items, you can check out like Pirate Ship. They do cubic, which sometimes can be a little bit cheaper, especially on like heavier stuff. Downside to that is it's not going to be insured in the same way. And then you'd also have to like manually upload the tracking number. So it's kind of like a little extra step, but a couple things you might want to try out there. I figure you'll probably be doing some like smaller stuff. I know we're talking a little bit about like maybe some makeup, something like that. So that would be the type of stuff that you could probably do pretty well merchant fulfilling. Just keep it small, keep it simple.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What products or categories are best suited for FBM? Probably the cheaper or the lighter, the better. I mean, does it make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, lighter is always good because, especially if it's like under a pound, it'll only be like $4 or $5 usually to ship it. So we've done pretty well in like apparel merchant fulfilling before because obviously people paying, $60-$70 for a hoodie, pair of pants, that kind of thing. And we can ship it out for, $5 or $6. So really not too bad at all there. Yeah, look at those lighter items. Like, I don't know if I've ever touched toys merchant fulfilled. You plug those in, it's like half your revenue goes to covering the shipping on a big Nerf gun or something.
Okay. Yeah, not good. You had asked about any inventory or shipping softwares or anything. Did you mean like Inventory Lab?
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't done that yet. I think there's a 2-week free trial for that. So we're waiting until school lets out because I'm a teacher. And so we're waiting until school lets out in early June. And then that way I can like spend that 2 weeks going really hard and learning it, and playing around with it and getting some good, I want to get some tutorials on it and watch and really, really hit the ground running with it after those 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple decent alternatives. GoToLister is a little cheaper and then Sellerboard's working on it as well. So a couple things you might be able to check out there as well. But yeah, and then the only other thing I would say, like for Inventory Lab and just for software in general, like make sure that you're not spending a ton of extra time like skipping the software. If you use a listing software, you'll probably send to Amazon 50% faster than without it. So if you're spending 10 hours a month shipping products, it's probably just worth it to pull the trigger, like kind of value your hourly a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's on the list. I kind of wanted to wait until school let out when I can give it my full attention.
You got to be getting close now, right? Like about to be able to put full attention.
17 days. I mean,
there you go.
Who's counting? Yeah. June 2nd, the kids are done. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. We'll be able to free up some time spend some more time. You're just gonna be doing like more sourcing, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, that's all the time sourcing. I plan on making that my full-time job. I want to that was going to be one of my next questions is about your hardwares and what you use, because right now, if you can picture it, I'm working on a MacBook and that's it. I don't even have like a special 3-button mouse. I'm, looking for that. And I see all in the calls, I see people looking at their different monitors and stuff. So I know that once summer hits and this becomes full-time, that I need to start getting my setup ready, and what that's going to look like.
Yeah, nothing, you don't need to overthink anything. And if you're a true beginner watching this video, I don't think you need to have like 4 monitors and a whole like rocket science setup. But a couple of things that will help you, like what is this mouse? It's the Logitech G502. That's what I use. There's plenty of other options, but it's really cool because you can set certain buttons to do like different keyboard shortcuts. So like all those little time savings definitely add up. Like I have buttons on my side that Control C and then Control V. So I'm not, doing that all the time. You're obviously copy pasting a lot. As far as like getting a setup, especially if you're on a laptop, probably do want that mouse and then maybe like one extra monitor just so you can compare back and forth. But you really don't need to overthink that kind of stuff. If you get to the point where it's like, man, I'd probably be faster if I had more screens, then yeah, fire away. But nothing you don't want to overthink that kind of stuff early on.
I really want a mouse where I can have a button that opens a new tab. I'm constantly right clicking, open a new tab, and then it goes up. I want a button.
Oh yeah, because you don't have a middle mouse button. Yeah.
No,
yeah, you should probably pull the trigger on a mouse. It's like $60 or something.
Yeah, totally worth it. Absolutely. Okay, I did have a question about, I have a pair of shoes sitting over there that we got a few sizes of, but this size, there was no listing for it. Can I create a listing when I have an off size? I don't know why, like maybe it went from like 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Sure. Like there was no, is there a way that like a seller can create that variation?
Yeah, you can. A lot of times it's like way more work than it's worth. And it's also hard if you don't own the brand registry, which obviously it's probably like Nike, Adidas, Converse, one of those. And unless you own one of those companies, then in which case let me know. But yeah, it is possible. I don't think it's worth the effort. The one thing you can try is punch in the title of the product into Seller Central, like when you go to add a product. And then when you like select, when you like show all variations or whatever it says, there's going to be the listings that aren't in stock. If that listing has ever existed, it'll show up there. So a lot of times you'll find the black and white size 11. Why does that not have a listing? It just is out of stock and no one sold it. So that's kind of a nugget. If you're able to dig through that, you can find those ASINs that aren't necessarily showing up, because Kiva is not going to show them, and then Amazon's obviously not going to show the out of stock products either.
Right. Okay, good. All right, that's helpful because they're just sitting over there. But so I'll do one dive on it, and then I'll just
a lot of time what happens with that is the variation you have got separated from the parent. So like the whole big we were just looking at shoes, like all the different sizes, all the different colors are attached. You probably find one or two of those sizes of colors, that shoe we were looking at, where it's like just randomly off on its own. Black white size 14 is its own listing. So you could also check and see if it's something like that where it got like separated from the main listing. Beyond that, third-party marketplaces, that kind of stuff, fire away. Keep sourcing stuff that exists, and don't distract yourself, assuming you don't have a bunch of it, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I think that one I don't even know why I bought that one. It was a random one. Speaking of random variations, we're actually just starting to get returns, which hurts my soul, but I understand it's just a part of the business. But I think to myself, how can you not like this product? I searched this, I sourced it, I bought it, but whatever, it's okay, I'm over it. And there was some conversation going on in the Lightspeed Discord about this, and other people had different opinions about it. How you handle customer feedback? Is it something as an FBA you just don't touch it? You don't even respond? Do you let Amazon deal with it? Like, what's your best course of action for something like that?
Yeah. So are you talking about like buyer messages or actual feedback? Okay.
Sorry,
buyer messages. Yeah. If you ever get buyer messages on a product that was Amazon fulfilled, that's why we're paying Amazon fees. So we even have like a template saved on the buyer messages where it's like, this product was fulfilled by Amazon. Please contact Amazon customer services here, and they'll sort you out, because that's why we're paying FBA to do all that customer service for us.
Okay. Yeah. As a shopper on Amazon, I've received that canned response before. Yeah. And it's funny, like how you become critical. I ordered a vitamin and it was the wrong, like a supplement, and it was the wrong kind. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh, it's just a little guy like me. They made a mistake, or whatever. But the response I got was very template. So I might actually just take their template. It was very nice.
Yeah, for sure. Just do that. And then, you'll, as far as like logistics of returns and all that, like a lot of the returns that you get back, they'll say are like unfulfillable. Warehouse worker might just like click the wrong button on a lot of those. So even if it does get shipped back to you, it's not necessarily like unsellable, especially sounds like you're doing some shoes, that kind of stuff. So, maybe there's a tiny bit of dirt you can scrub off and make it look brand new. Or a lot of times it's just genuinely brand new and they click the wrong button. So ship in anything that you would be happy receiving if you bought it in new condition, and you're going to get a good amount of that return money back.
Oh, okay. So as soon as they ship it back unfulfillable, take a look at it and then ship it right back if it's if it's still sellable.
A good amount of it will be too damaged to sell back on Amazon. You can like eBay it as used, that kind of thing, get some of that money. But a lot of that stuff they send back, maybe warehouse worker clicked the wrong button, whatever it is, there's going to be some extra profit you can squeeze out of that.
Okay. So I'm realizing that as a seller trying to buy potentially in bulk, or trying to buy 5 to 10 units of something or multiple orders, I probably shouldn't have a reseller sounding email address, right? Yeah. Like I don't want to give out what it is, but you've probably seen it. I made the mistake of having it in the Discord.
Oh, that's funny.
Like storefront name, and I was like, oh my God, I should probably change it. That's why I'm always changing it to Corinne. But you probably shouldn't have it as your store name if it sounds reseller-ish, right? You should try to make an email address a little bit more generic.
Yeah, if you're like you're talking about like the email you use to submit orders and that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's generally a good idea to just make it a random domain, even if it's just like your name or something like that. Like if you put like resale or that kind of stuff in your domain name, it's probably going to throw up some red flags. And if they're reviewing your order and you bought 20, the guy who's got resale in his name is probably going to get canceled more times than the guy who's just got the name as their domain name.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
and for any of you guys who aren't familiar with why you might like want a domain name, you can use it to like create a catch-all. So if you ever go on a website and it's like plug in your email for 10% off. Like if you have your own domain name, you can do what's called a catch-all. When you Google it, you'll find a tutorial pretty easily. And then it's going to redirect all those emails to your main inbox. So you can just kind of make infinite coupon codes. So that's what we're kind of taking advantage of here with that custom domain.
Yeah, absolutely. You had sent me a link for that. It's sitting right up there. I still need it. to get to that at some point. Also, kind of on the business tip. So we started our Amazon seller account just as when it was mine, when I was shopping and I was just a user of
Sure.
Amazon and I would
Yeah.
shop on Amazon. I have to assume that, and then I changed it to a business account when we did all this. I should assume that we should stop using it as like a shopper on Amazon as well as the business account. Like, should I kick the rest of the family off and make them get their own? And we just use this one as the business account? Like, how can that hurt us?
Is it the same email, like buying and
Oh,
selling
yeah.
account?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably cut the personal stuff off. More
Okay.
so just for like tax reasons. So you have it all like this is everything I bought on Amazon for my business, and then you got the personal account set up. Because you probably also don't need Prime for your business. Just get that business account, get it free, have that set up. If you need to buy tape or anything like that from Amazon, or more so just for tax reasons. I don't know that it necessarily has any big implications as far as buying personal stuff on the same email. Keep it separate. It's probably
Okay.
better policy.
And then is that the way too that you get through like an Amazon to Amazon flip? Like you have to have the business account without Prime?
On Amazon and sell on Amazon, yeah, you got to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a business account, but it does have to be non-Prime. So like you could use that non-Prime business account to buy some stuff to 808 if you really want. Just definitely never use Prime or do anything that's even close to TOS, especially if you're gonna have the same emails for both. Like I have a separate email set up for my Amazon business account versus my seller account. Not sure if it would really help me with anything, but just kind of an added precaution.
Okay, because I see that in the Discord as a way that people get ungated in things is to do it through Amazon, like do an A to A like thing like that. So then you just use
It's insane that works, but yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know. I haven't done it, but people talk about it like it really works.
Better than people submitting blank pieces of paper. I feel like once Amazon starts reviewing stuff and people blank piece of paper ungate, it's probably not going to be looking too good for them.
Yeah. Are they just bogged down? Is that why it's so easy?
I would imagine there's a lot of automated review going on, and it's just not checking some things. And then other brands, you have to apply like 14 times before they even actually give you a chance. And
I know. Some of them I've been like for a brand that I already sold on. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like we've done this already," and it got kicked back twice. And then other ones that like within, I'm not kidding, under a minute it gets approved. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
you've been able to ungate all those after getting regated, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Never had any problems with that. And what a great feeling that is, right? Like when you go in and you're like, oh man, I really want to sell this. This is a good ASIN. And then you go and you're like, apply to sell, and it says, congratulations. And you're like, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling versus earlier, right? In January and February when I couldn't get anything ungated. So
everything, you got to apply. Yeah. So it only took you like a few months to start getting auto ungates then?
Oh yeah. I mean, if I start, like I just did two of the ACs that I found today. So yeah, between the end of January to the beginning of May, I would say 90% of the things. And it's usually as soon as I'm trying, like it's bigger brand, I know in my mind, I'm like, this is not going to work. They're going to need an invoice. Like you can just kind of, I'm starting to learn which brands, like the bigger brands that.
Yeah, it's always like the premium stuff. Yeah. But that's good. Like you guys watching, like it only takes a few months to start getting that auto engage. So that's good to hear. It's been a while since I kind of started clearing those thresholds.
Yeah, I bet. Lucky. Nice for you. Okay. Here's a question. So we have an opportunity to possibly travel a little bit this summer. What does that look like for our business? How can I'm going to be using a different, network. I'm going to be using my MacBook, right? But I'm going to be on different Wi-Fi's. And I mean, do I take my printer? Like, what does that look like when someone's trying to travel?
Yeah, it's probably going to be best do you have a prep center set up at all yet?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll get you a prep center hookup after this. But yeah, I would say it's going to be way better if you have a prep center, just so you're not shipping random stuff to new addresses all the time. And yeah, you want to get set up with a prep center because that's the way I run things. And, we can be location independent, all that kind of stuff. So get set up with a prep center. So you just ship all your stuff to them. You probably would still have some like removal orders and returns going back to your house or your whatever the business address is. So have somebody in, a neighbor or something like that, pay them a couple bucks a day. That's what I usually do if there's stuff piling up outside. Like, hey, pull some boxes in. And that would be the only thing you'd really want to think about. And then it's just sourcing on the road, shipping stuff to the prep center. And it's not too different beyond that as long as you got a prep center set up.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to do anything different with where like the MacBook, like anything that I'm using, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I've just heard people talk about getting VPNs and things like that. I mean, I'm not going out of the country. So for any of that.
That is good that you bring that up though. Sometimes if you end up logging into the same Wi-Fi as someone who like got banned or something like that, they'll think your accounts are linked. It is probably a good idea, like you're saying, to just use a VPN especially if you're logging into Seller Central. Everything else should be fine, but just be careful when you're logging into Seller Central. Like try to do it on a VPN. Like don't do it on public network. That's just safety anyway. You don't want to be logging into your bank accounts and into your entire business on public Wi-Fi anyway.
Yeah, right. No, it'll be with family, so it'll just be their little internet connection or whatever, which should be safe.
Yeah, and if they don't have Amazon accounts, it's probably not a big deal anyway.
Okay, good. All right, that's good to know. Ooh, you'll be happy to hear that. That's good news. So lots of talk, and I've kind of gone down a rabbit hole of watching videos about ways to increase sales. You and I have talked about coupons before, and then running ads and things like that. What are some ways to increase sales of products that you already have listed?
Yeah, I mean the obvious one is a repricer. Are you set up on repricer right now?
Not yet.
Okay, that would be the
Everything's going to be June 2nd, I promise.
I wouldn't wait on the repricer. I would do the repricer
Okay.
like today or tomorrow. Just get a Be Cool starter plan. It's like $25 a month. Right now, like honestly, that might put you over the threshold to get you that little percentage boost. I guess you'd need a 25% boost. That would be significant, but it will get you closer for sure. Because
Okay.
how often are you going in and changing prices right now?
Well, just like last time we talked, Lee is
Sure.
my repricer. So he's going in every day and doing stuff. So I would say every day, but he can't keep up. We're like over 100 ASINs now, which is super exciting.
Get a repricer. It's $25 a month. It's going to monitor your prices for you. If you want to be extra safe, then just set your mins a little like decently high, and you can go in and check it once a week if you really want to. But get a repricer for sure. Especially if you got 100 ASINs now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, becoming unmanageable for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot.
Yeah, going back to that same conversation, like with listing software, is like he's spending minimum 30 minutes a day probably repricing stuff, or you can spend $25 a month and spend 20% as much repricing, 10% of the time probably after it's going to make all those little small changes.
Okay. So as far as like increasing sales, so the repricer would be the first.
Yeah. So repricer is the obvious one. You can try PPC. It's probably going to be overkill, like where you're at in your business. Something we do, especially if it's something we have a lot of, we'll place like a really small bid on a lot of the keywords that apply for something we have, 100 plus units in stock on. And we're just going to bid like 5 cents or a dime, that kind of thing. So I'm not paying like legit PPC fees. Like we don't have the margin for that, no way. But you definitely can increase a little bit of the sales you're seeing on that. And then coupons can kind of do the same thing. Just if everybody else is at $20 and you got a 5% coupon, you're going to be making those sales over them. So a lot of times, like you can even raise your price and then make a coupon for the corresponding amount, and it might kind of bump your sales a little bit. Like if you got a really stale ASIN, like that kind of stuff can be really good. But I think those would be kind of the three major ones, and then beyond that, just continuing to source fast moving stuff.
Okay. Yeah. And as a shopper on Amazon, I always click on the one that has a coupon. Like, why would you not? I didn't even think that they might be increasing the price, but
exactly.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Okay, good. I know we had talked about those things a little bit before, but all right. Well, Lee's going to be thrilled to hear about the Be Cool update from Warner. It came right from you. So yeah. Okay. Those are all the questions that I had. I'm in a place right now where I'm going to have more time starting in June. So I think like my sticky area right now is all the business part of it. Like I have all your spreadsheets. They're all like right there, the things that you share. And so it's going to be starting to run the business first, where school is first right now, and being able to put this business first and going in and tracking those sales and using more than just the spreadsheet, getting inventory labs. So I'm excited to start running this like a business. Right now it's like, holy crap, a couple hours after school and then crazy shipping and almost breaking up over the weekend because we got so much stuff trying to ship everything out. So I'm excited for June when like I can just focus and start using. I don't even know what I don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's so many business aspects of it that I still need to learn and start using to help the business run more efficiently.
Yeah. And I would say like for you and a lot of people watching this, like don't overcomplicate things. Like, you got some super fancy sheets for being in Lightspeed and all that. Like you don't need those yet. Like I'll just tell you, like just source good product. Like if you guys are watching this video, you don't need your VA. If you got $5,000 in sales, like just, focus on the basics, like get in there, start reverse sourcing, start learning as many brands as possible, going through that, like, sourcing workflow, checking Rakuten, checking coupon websites, like what's decent today? How can I combine that knowledge with the storefronts that I've seen over the last week? And then that's like what really matters. Yeah. So get to the point where you're spending 5-10 grand a month pretty easily. And then start thinking about, how do I make sure I'm not missing restocks and all that kind of stuff? Like just focus on the basics, don't get shiny object syndrome, and kind of roll from there is what I'd say.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened. I told you over the past couple of days how frustrated I was because I started trying to do more and I started going to Rakuten and Be Frugal and things like that. And I just wasn't having the success that I heard y'all talking about. And so I was like, you know what? Reverse source, storefront stock. Like, that's where it's going to be. And I did. And I found like 3 things while I was at school. So yeah. So I just keep the basic, just go back to like what the foundations of it. And I think is helping for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. And something that is super valuable for you, super valuable for you guys watching at home is going out and making those connections. Like continue to do that as well. It's, obviously what part of why you're hopping in coaching, all that kind of stuff. But for any of the people watching this video, maybe they resonate with your story, similar sales level, where can they go find you, kind of reach out to you? Sure.
Right now we're just on Instagram, but it's Corinne and Lee FBA. That's awesome. Our Instagram handle.
I'll get that link down below. If you guys want to go connect, find a new sourcing buddy, anything like that, I'm sure you guys are open for some networking connections there.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. Really appreciate you taking the time, Corinne. Hope you guys got some value out of this. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know, kind of testing a new concept. If you guys want to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, that would help me out as well. Drop any questions, comments, anything like that you guys got down below. Always happy to answer those. Thanks for hopping on the channel, Corinne. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.